Okay. So after that long complaining, I'm gonna get into the lesson now. Please freshen up your moods. Don't think about what I said before. It's fine. Let's get into the lesson. I Know Why the Cage Bird Sing by Maya Angelou. What do you know about Maya Angelou? Or the poem in general? The reason, I mean, you might have noticed I never asked you about any of the other poets or poetesses when we read the poems. Because it wasn't that important. But Maya Angelou and I Know Why the Cage Bird Sing are connected. That is why I'm asking whether you know anything about Maya Angelou or about the poem. Oshini, are you crying? Are you okay? Huh?
I'm okay with.
Are you sure you're okay? ඔය මූණ
Yeah.
හොදන්න ආවේ.
No.
Okay, you look like you cried. Okay, fine. Okay. Why unit test එකට පාඩම් කරලා මහන්සිද? Okay, never mind. Okay, what do you know about I Know Why the Cage Bird Sing? Let's start. Kisidu, what do you know? Have you done this poem in school, low class, or anywhere? What do you know about the poem? Oshini, Nama කියනකන් ඉන්න එපා. If you know, please unmute and talk, kids. Lohan, Bidara, Bimasha නම් දන්නේ නැහැ කිව්ව දන්නව poem එක. අනිත් අය සෙන්ඩරට සනීප නෑලුනේ බිමාෂ. දාලා තිබ්බ මර ටෙක්ස්ට් එකක්. නැත්නම් he's joining for sure. Tell me, what do you know about the poem? Dohan says it's about privilege and unprivilege. Okay, okay, close enough. Others? She has faced racism. Okay, Binara. Okay. What else? Okay, privilege, unprivilege, racism. Good points. What else? I need something from everyone. Oshini, Kisadu, text in the everyone section. Do say okay, whenever it's easier. Yeah, racism. Okay. Oshini?
Miss, it is said that Maya Angelou also has faced such kind of scenario, right? Like racism. Because of that, she has written this poem.
Okay. Okay. What else? Okay. Kisadu? Let me Kisadu ko about Maya Angelou. Okay, about freedom and prosperity. Okay, fine. Okay. Let me give you an insight about Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou is a woman who I truly admire, and she's one of my icons when it comes to my poetry research. I love her. I adore her poetry because it kind of goes with my genre as well. You all have Some of you all have already read some of my poetry. I'm into feminist writing about identity crisis, feminism, rights, about inequality, about mental health. These are my poetry topic areas. Most of the time I write poetry basing on these concerns: identity crisis, gender inequality and feminism. What else? About I forgot what I just told. About mental health. These are kind of my concerns. So Maya Angelou is a black writer. Her poetry goes under the black canon, as well as she's a feminist writer. About Maya Angelou was raped at the age of 7. She was only 7 years old when she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. And as a result, she was mute for 6 years. අවුරුදු 6ක් කතා කරේ නැහැ. So what actually happened was she was 6, so she was 7 when she was raped. And then upon questioning, they tell who he is and all the Komarvela. And then once she confesses according to what I remember, after she confesses who raped and all the Komareva jail, Marano. some people, I mean, her relation, uncles, some Kumari, as I remember, that man was killed, man was murdered or something, or he was put to jail. I can't remember what properly happened. What I remember was that he was killed after he was released from jail, and Maya Angelou started believing that it was her fault that that man died, or that she was raped. So that reasoning wasn't sound enough for her. And that trauma made her mute for 6 long years. She did not talk to anyone. 6 years is a big duration for a 7-year-old girl. So 7 plus 6 is how much? 6, 7. How much? That's 13. So it was 13 when she started speaking again. During these 6 years, she started getting herself into literature a lot. She started reading Shakespeare and other authors, other poets. She started getting herself immersed. So although she didn't speak, she read. She immersed herself into reading. That is how she got into literature eventually. And then she didn't just raise her voice, she also raised her voice to writing. This poem is not about, I mean, it's not directly about feminism itself. It's actually about racism. So that was another concern. So she had two crosses from birth. One is the fact that she was black, and the other is the fact that she was a woman. Two reasons for her to feel less privileged. So this poem is about racism. It's about the inequality in terms of race, black and white. There's a movie which I cannot remember the name of, where they say how equal they are. They start treating, I mean, they start treating their servants, the black slaves, they convert slaves into servants, and they say they start treating them better. What they do is they create a separate bathroom. They call it the colored bathrooms, colored washrooms. So there were the normal washrooms and the colored washrooms. Colored washrooms is for the washrooms for the black people. Is it equality? Just because washrooms are provided and they've been labeled as colored washrooms, is it inequality? Equality or inequality? What is it? Washrooms are there, but it's divided. Is that called equal rights? It is inequality. It is not equal rights. Still, they are being discriminated. They cannot attend the normal bathroom. They have to attend the colored bathroom. What nonsense is that? Separating washrooms, separating the train, the sections where you can sit as colored, and the normal people, the whites, were considered normal and the black people were considered colored. The limitations, although they took off slavery, still job opportunities and everything were limited. Right. So this in this poem, Maya Angelou takes a very good comparison. She takes birds. Birds are supposed, when you imagine birds, always what comes into your head is the sky. Birds are associated with the sky. Sky is a symbol of unlimited freedom. Sky is a symbol of unlimited freedom, but where do you see this bird? The bird is caged. The freedom is cut off. The bird is not allowed to stay in the habitat the bird is supposed to stay. The bird has wings. Wings are to fly. But he's caged. He or she is caged. So she says, I know why the caged bird sings. I know why. Why? Because she is one of them. Because she has gone through the same thing. She knows why. Maya Angelou has first-hand experienced racism and sexism. Sexism is division based on sex. Sex means genders, not the verb form, the noun form. Don't misunderstand that also. Okay. Bhimasha, read the first stanza.
The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky.
Okay. The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and the boats downstream till the current ends, floats downstream till the current ends. And he dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. So the first comparison, the first component showed is a free bird, a bird who is not in a cage. But on how freely he is flying on the back of the wind, floats downstream till the current ends, and then he dips in. This is full of visual imagery. So the orange sun rays, it's as if it's you know what dipping is, right? So like you have some sauce and you dip your chips and eat. So same way, the wings of the bird are mixed with the orange sun rays. So the sun rays is falling onto the wings of the bird and dares to claim the sky. So is the sky only to the free bird? No, the sky is for everyone. It is the sky represents, I already told you, sky symbolizes unlimited freedom. It's a privilege which the free bird is enjoying to the core. He's enjoying to the maximum level. Claims the sky. So, sky is mine because I can fly in it. I am privileged. The sky is mine. Claims the sky. Then, second, butterbird. Okay, Oshiri, read the second stanza.
But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of ridge. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing.
Okay. Right. A bird that stalks to, okay, stalking is what horeg balanama, through his narrow cage. So he's being caged. Can seldom see through the bars of rage. Bars of rage. Is he happy about his situation? No. He's angry. So previously we had the free bird and now we have a cage bird. So here we go, the comparison. The bird who is caged. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his mouth to sing. He has no other ways to express himself. The wings are clipped. Wings, which are wings, are supposed to use to fly, right? So the sky is there. He cannot reach the sky, but he has the wings. He has the potential. This shows the unprivileged or the underprivileged. Wings, but the wings are clipped. So how can you fly? You can't fly. The feet are tied too, so you can't fly. Neither you can walk. This is the disparity between the privileged and the unprivileged. They have the same ability. They have wings just like the free bird. They have feet just like the free bird, but the sky is there above them, but they cannot fly. Not because they do not have the potential. They have the potential. They have the ability, but they do not have the privilege to do so. They are being caged. They are not given the opportunity. So he opens his mouth, throat to sing. So only thing he can do is sing out his frustration, to sing out his sorrow. That's what he does. Right? Okay. Binara, next stanza. Can't hear you, child. Yeah.
Sings with fearful thrill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Okay. The caged bird sings with a fearful thrill. Is he happy? No, he fears. We always have the fear for the unknown, right? The what if situations. We always have that. We always think of alternative possibilities. For y'all, of course, y'all do not still have those. I mean, I don't know. The number of things that you can think of as alternative opportunities are still less, since all of y'all have the option of still going to school. But okay, maybe y'all can think like this. What if I fail the exam? What's gonna happen? If I pass the exam, what's gonna happen? If I select A levels, if I do a foundation, like that, you'll be thinking of options and you'll be thinking. Imagine you want to go abroad and you want to stay here. There are two things. You're under a dilemma. You don't know what to choose from. And then you're thinking, if I choose this, what if you think you chose a path when you're like, Mama, now okay, you think of settling here, and then you're like, Mama, rata giya nam මොකක් වෙන්න තියෙන්නේ නැද්ද? You always think of what's unknown to you, right? Because you've never reached that. Same way, the cage bird sings with the fearful thrill of the things unknown. There's so many things to go and see, but the cage bird is not given the opportunity, although it has the potential. But long for still, and his tune is heard on a distant hill. So see, it's heard. People can hear, but they ignore. The voice for the Black people, Black Lives Matter movement was a very known movement, right? There was a time, I remember when I was in school, there was some news going on. I can't remember much about it. I remember some policeman, has attacked a black man and killed him. But because he was a policeman, he was being, this was in America. It's like, I hate America to the core. In the sense, I would never, I would visit, but I would never settle in America. Never. I'd rather settle in Nigeria or I don't know, any other country. Nigeria is way better, personally speaking, not America. I hate it. Basically due to racism, and they have a lot of color-based discrimination. And I hate Trump personally. I don't know whether if someone sees the recording and shoot me dead tomorrow, but I don't care saying it. I would say I'm not scared to say it twice. I hate Trump. He's very good as a politician, but as a human being, he's terrible. As a politician, yes, because of him, the country is economically stable. The country is in that level of stability because of him. Political wise, economic wise, he's very good. As a human, no. So he has both, there are both pros and cons in everything. So he has both his strengths and weaknesses, but sometimes his weaknesses go surpassing his strengths. So yeah. And mine, let's just say, she's from America as well, so she knows what happened, right? So that's why there are still poetry that's prescribed or written on Black lives, because however how much you say, there is still a little strand of racism remaining in America. However how much people say it's not so, it is so, right? Then, so see, it's heard. People hear it. People know that the cage bird is singing, but we ignore. It's heard on a distant hill. So the cage bird sings of freedom. The cage bird is not singing about any materialistic things or any other thing. Not a love song, not a breakup song, not Kaling Kolla Chorauna. He's singing of freedom, because their whole purpose is freedom. This shows how much of a necessity freedom is. Next stanza, Dohan. Read.
The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sign trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own.
Okay. The free bird thinks of another breeze. What's breeze? It's kind of like the wind, right? You feel the wind on you. So, in a wind like a mati. Why? Now, when you have all you have, you always think of a step ahead. Imagine you do not go to school, you do not have access to education. Will you be thinking about studying abroad? Your first concern is, how can I get into a school? Private school, government school, international school, nothing. You don't think about any of it. You just want to get into school. You just imagine you in a uniform, wearing a school bag and carrying books to school. That's what you want to do. But since you have access to proper education, you think of higher education as well. You're like, okay, what am I going to do for my higher studies? Am I going to go abroad? Am I going to stay in Sri Lanka? If I'm going to go abroad, what other countries? You think of another breeze as well, because you are just at the free bird. You have opportunities. This shows of the opportunities. Theoretical rights, they have the opportunity of thinking of more things. Another breeze, not just the wind that flows by. Extra opportunities than just the rights that are provided, while the cage bird is deprived of the rights itself. Rights the free bird who has got the rights is also thinking of more opportunities and more chances in life. Then and trade the winds off through the side trees. Same thing. And the fat worm waiting on the dawn bright long. Fat worm, not just the worm, a fat worm. For a bird, it's food. Once again, it's about the things that are available for the privileged, the rights that are available for the privileged. A fat worm is waiting on the dawn bright lawn. It's like the worm is waiting to be eaten by the bird. The cage bird is just able to eat what is given, while the free bird has opportunity of eating plenty, while not just normal worms but fat worms extra, and names the sky his own. So once again, claiming the sky to be his just because he has it. But is the sky owned just by a bird? That's the question. No, not just by the free bird. It's owned by the cage bird too, but the cage bird is not allowed to cross the sky. Next stanza. Who did read? Dohan read, Oshini read, Vinara read. Kisadu? Next stanza.
But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing.
Okay. But the cage bird stands on a grave of dreams. Grave of dreams. These two things are contradicting. Dreams are supposed, it's not a nightmare. Those are dreams. Dreams are supposed to be positive. Dreams are supposed to hold on to hope and optimism. All the dreams have been buried. Valadala, it's in a grave, and he's standing on top of it. Think how hurt they are. The cage bird has dreams just like you and I. But the cage bird's dreams are not just buried in a grave, but he has to stand on it without letting it pop out again. The trauma is what is being shown in this stanza, right? His shadow shouts on nightmare screams. Why? Because when he sees his shadows, he can see that he's been clipped and tied where he cannot move. He cannot fly. So that creates a nightmare in him. It makes him scream. It terrifies him. His situation, rewind of his situation. When you see your shadow, you can see yourself. So his reflection, his shadow, creates him an image of what he really is, his current situation. It's a reminder, which is terrifying. So he opens his mouth to sing, throat to sing. So he has no other option than singing his feelings out. Bibasha, last stanza.
The cage bird sings with a fearful thrill of things unknown but longed for still, and tune is heard on the distant hill, for the cage bird sings of freedom.
Yes, it's a repetition, right? This whole thing was there before and it's a repetition. What does repetition do? Repetition creates rhythm as well as emphasis. So it's a whole emphasis of the same scenario. So he sings of a fearful thrill, of the things unknown. He wants to know these things. For long, he wants to know these things. But he fears the things that are unknown because he has no chance of seeing them. He's not privileged. So what does he do? And one more thing, his tune is heard. People can hear, which speak of black rights. But are we actually taking action? Black rights thing is not much of an issue now. It's way better. Now, okay, example, the what do you call the child abuse problem that's going on these days? Are people actually raising voices? We can hear, we can see, but actually people aren't. They don't care. Unless it affects them, they don't care. Same thing. People aren't actually raising the voice. They don't care. If it doesn't affect them, they don't care. But I have huge respect to so many influencers who have been actually raising voice for this current scenario, which goes with a girl in Sri Lanka, which you all know, and a religious person who is a person who is supposed to hold religion. I don't want to use the word at all, but yeah. Okay, right. So what are the themes of this poem? This poem is about racism. It's about the privileged and the unprivileged. It's about inequality based on race, based on color. And it's also a personal reference. In the sense, it's a personal poem. In the sense, she is one of them, but she doesn't include herself in the poem, but she says that she knows why. Her personal experiences are a part of it. Okay, right. Any questions with regards to the poem? And silly me, I forgot we have the tune. Okay, let's look at the questions now. Here you go. The society constitute. I forgot we have the tune. Okay, so this was quite repeated 3 times. So it's highly unlikely that it might show up this year, but still good knows. It's good to practice and go, right? So let's look at the questions. 2016, Maya Angelou conveys the deprivation of freedom in I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. Discuss with reference to the poem. 2021, evaluate I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings in relation to the depiction of social issues in the world. 2022, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings is a symbolic call for peace and freedom. Discuss. It's more or less the same thing. It refers to the same theme in different words. Please make your drafts now. I'm going to post the recording. What did you do? Create your drafts now. Okay, I have one draft for now. Today I do not have dinner, so my dinner is this. I don't know whether you can see. Yeah, very primitive. Can't help. Doesn't suit my age. Can't help. Physically one age, mentally another age. Okay. The 3 points of Binara. Life feels like a prison, psychological trauma. Life feels like a prison, a bird that's too slow. Okay, psychological trauma. Okay, using seeking to read. Okay. Binara, you have used only one side of the picture. Rethink of your points because I can see only one side. Oshniya, because you said you're not well, yeah, you can watch the recording, no problem. You can leave. But watch the recording and complete your draft in your essay and come, okay? Yes, Binara, you have to rewrite. The 3 points aren't strong enough, darling. Like the 3 points that you've written only shows one side of the picture. Where's the other end? Shows the cage bird is not able. Something's wrong with my phone. The thing is not clicking. Shows that the cage bird is not able to move or enjoy the freedom, unlike the free bird. It's trapped in. Okay. First point is good. Second point shows that the free bird has opportunities while the cage bird suffers. Excellent. Second point is also good. Excellent. Kisado, your draft is perfect. This is brilliant. Very good. You have looked into it very well and you have directly created the 3 codes. Very good. Your draft is excellent. Others, you have got into the subject now. I'm happy about it. Kapara, you have made the 3 points, and the 3 points are very direct, and you can explain the way that you have taken the 3 points, you can explain it well. I'm waiting for the others. Until then, Kisa, do you have the tute with you, darling? Not yet, right? No, okay. Others, do you want more time or is it difficult? Reply. I can see Bidar is typing. Others? විමර්ශ මොකෝ තත්ත්වය අමාරුද?
පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරුයි.
පොඩ්ඩක් අමාරුයි. ඔයාලට මොකක් හරි පොයම් එකේ තේරුන්නේ නැති මොකක් හරි තියනවද? තේරුන්නේ නැත්නම් අහන්න.
නෑ අවුලක් නෑ.
අවුලක් නෑ. පොයින්ට්ස් තුන හදාගන්න ටිකක් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙමද? Okay. Okay, wait. I have Binar's 3 points. Okay, the Hans draft, introduction, and then when the free bird enjoys much freedom, the cage bird is stuck. Nowhere to go, nothing to see except just the bars of the cage. The privileged does not know much about the underprivileged. Okay. Second point is the free bird seems to underestimate the freedom they have. Without enjoying much freedom they have, they always need better. Okay. The cage bird stuck in the bars of a cage lives in a prison and does not have freedom to move by the free bird. Okay. Nightmare. Okay. Your 3 points, the first point and the last point sound the same to me, to be honest. If you read it carefully, you can understand it yourself that both of these points are similar. Isn't that so, Dohan?
Yes, miss.
Yeah. And the middle point that you have given is a good point, but you cannot explain it further. It's just a small fact. It's not a standalone point. Like to write a body paragraph, sorry, to write a body paragraph, it's not sound enough. It's not strong enough. But a good point as a fact, not a whole drafted point. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to reread Kisidu's answer. Kisidu's draft. He has given the first point shows that the cage bird is not able to move or enjoy freedom unlike the cage bird and is trapped and cannot live freely. The quote he has taken is his wings are clipped and feet are tied. Then the second point he has taken is shows that the free bird has opportunities while the cage bird suffers and are denied rights and opportunities. The quote, the free bird, okay, I'm going to directly send this to the group. That's way easier. Okay, opportunities. And the third point, this shows that even without freedom, the cage bird still hopes and refuses to give up on its dreams. With the cage bird sings of freedom. These are the exact 3 points that I would have come up with myself, but I mean, the words might change, but it's the same thing. In any essay, if there are 2 components to compare, I mean, if it's like a character comparison or anything, a very easy way to do is you take the 2 components and then finally give a comparison or finally give one resolutionary point. So here you have a good solid comparison between 2 birds. You have the cage bird and the free bird. Free bird represents the privileged, the ones who have the rights, ones who live freely. The cage bird speaks of the deprived ones, the ones who are underprivileged or unprivileged and who are denied of their rights. There are 2 parties. So one party is deprived of the freedom while one enjoys it to the core. So in one body paragraph, you can talk about how the cage bird is living, the caged feeling. You can talk about that. How the rights are denied and all of that. And one, you can talk about the free bird. You can talk about how the free bird is enjoying its freedom, the opportunities, how it has been given rights to the maximum. Like sky is a limit to what he's enjoying unlimited freedom. And also has the opportunity of thinking of a better breeze, of thinking of more opportunities than just the basic rights that are given. And finally, you can say how the cage bird is optimistic. Optimistic means what? Positive. It's hopeful, right? It's hopeful. It hopes for a better future. It hopes that things would be okay. He's singing, not crying. He's singing of his sorrows, which shows that he's resilient. The resilience of the bird is shown. That standalone is another point. So well done, Kisudu. Your 3 points are excellent. And these 3 points, you can take them down as well. The first one, I'm going to just give it in a brief way because Kisudu has given it nice and shared it on the group. One is about the cage bird, about the cage scenario. Second is the free bird, the free scenario, how he's been given all the basic rights, the privileges, and how the free bird even has all the opportunities that kind of known in there. The fat worm is right there. Right, and thinking of another breeze, thinking of more opportunities than just the basic rights, and all of that is one. And when you talk about the free bird, cage bird, you can say how the dreams are being on the grave, and how although the cage bird and the free bird's difference, there is no difference. Both of them can fly, but the cage bird's wings are clipped. That means it is being deprived of what he is supposed to have. And all of that can be explained in the cage bird paragraph and in the free bird paragraph about how the free bird is. And finally, show the resilience of the bird and how it's hopeful. And how Maya Angelou itself, what is Maya Angelou doing? She's converting it into pen and paper, into words, into poetry, just like the free bird converts it into lyrics and sings. So that's a whole third paragraph. So those 3 points are solid. I hope you took that down as well. Okay. Now you can answer these questions, the context as well. I mean, not right now, you can do it. It's 10:41. I know the obvious answer, but I'm asking it anyways. Do you want to do another poem in the class for now? It's 10:41. Are you sleepy? That's a song. Are you sleeping, brother John? Are you tired? Come on. Birara. Okay. Yes. Very direct. Yes, miss. Others? Kisidu, Dohan, Bimasha, Mahansida? Is this like too much a process? You need time to process this. You don't want to process anything more? Bimasha, okay, yes. Others? Dohan, Kisidu? Kisidu don't know. Okay. Dohan? Dohan's reply is going to change the drill because it's 2 people saying wanna, one saying I don't know. Dohan apparsi. I don't know the guy. Now what to do? Okay. Right. Is this don't know more towards I can't, but I can't directly tell it to you? Yes. Okay. Okay. If that's the case, yeah. Okay. You can tell me directly. I mean, yeah. Okay. Because it's like this. I mean, it's not just me inputting it. You need to be able to process it and produce output. It's just not me just explaining the lesson and discussing a draft or whatsoever. You should be able to understand it, analyze it, and create it into your own points. So me just explaining it is useless. That's why. So if you are tired, me pushing further is useless. So tell me directly if you're tired. So it's 10:41. I know you have to go to school tomorrow. So yeah, that's fine. Let's call it a day then. And I'll let you all know when we have another extra session. Binara, you need to do me a small favor. Send me the poetry list, the list of poems we've done with ticks of whatever we've fully completed. Okay? Okay. Right. Good night. And yeah, see you all. Bye-bye.